Look, I know you're busy, you don't have to entertain me, but you can trust me. I'll tell you a couple things about myself. I'm 19, been overseas for a couple semesters, now I'm back. I'm an athlete, so I rarely drink. Kickboxing, you ever heard of kickboxing, sport of the future? I can see by your face, no. My point is you can relax because your daughter will be safe with me for the next 7 to 8 hours, sir.
One of the things that makes John Cusack such a popular actor is his unpredictability, his spontaneous style. The same is true of his sister, Joan.
I'm wearing a wedding dress which you picked out!
Besides being siblings, these stars have something else in common. As children, they went to the Piven Theatre Workshop, an Evanston acting school where kids and adults are taught to trust their instincts and act on their impulses. And they learn to do it by playing games.
You check that as far as it'll go, you'll see it'll change.
The games and improvisations are about spontaneity, creativity, the off-balance moment. That it comes as a surprise not only to the people around you, but to the player himself. And in that off-balance moment, the brain, it drives the little car all around, you know, in school and in our lives, is liberated, does somersaults, and you go to places that almost at times seem mystical.
I think a lot of the stuff that I learned when I was with the Pivens as a kid was really priceless and invaluable because it always comes back to sort of guarding and protecting your instincts and not trying to, you know, act by numbers or by anyone else's sort of rules or rigid structures on what an actor should be. It has to do with sort of internally looking at who you are and what your instincts are.
I think honestly, I don't know that I would be an actor today if I hadn't gone there. I don't think I ever would have had the confidence to be in the business that it is.
The Piven Workshop is a family business, started nearly 30 years ago by Joyce and Byrne Piven. In addition to the Cusacks, they've trained several other well-known actors, including Aidan Quinn and Rosanna Arquette, and Lily Taylor. Their daughter, Shira, taught in the workshop and is now a successful New York director, and their son, Jeremy, is a TV star and film actor.
10 years, man! 10 years! 10 years! 10 years!
From the time I was 8 years old, I was studying with my parents. It wasn't until I hit college, believe it or not, that I realized what my parents had, because my first day of college, it's 8 in the morning, and it's overwhelming, and each person goes by and says their name, and I say, I'm Jeremy Piven, and the teacher stops and goes, hold on, is Byrne Piven your father? And everyone's like, right to me at that moment. And yes, he is, you know. Everything that I teach comes from your father, he says. So that's just a bit of pressure on your first day of college.
To understand the Pivens' unique formula, you have to go back to the University of Chicago in the 50s, where Joyce and Byrne first met. They were part of a pioneering troupe called Playwrights Theater Club, which later evolved into Second City.
The people in it were extraordinary. At the time we were all kids, it was early 50s, and it was a company featuring Mike Nichols and Elaine May, joined us a little bit later. And Ed Asner joined us. He was just finishing his stint in the Army. And I brought Barbara Harris in.
The group's director was Paul Sills. He coached remarkable, spontaneous performances out of his actors using children's games invented by his mother, Viola Spolin. In 1955, Joyce and Byrne married and left the group to study and act in New York. 12 years later, they returned to Chicago with their 2 young children.
We were really looking for purity of work, something that was our own and something, you know, basic. Freeze! Balance the stage.
Teaching felt like a calling to them. They created a unique blend of training exercises, combining traditional method acting with theater games. Joyce especially found herself drawn to working with kids.
Keep this, don't give it away. Oh.
Children seem to have this kind of freedom, and they were certainly malleable. But of course, you know, we found that children can be really bad actors unless they're focused right. And when they're focused, they bring to the work something wonderful. You know, spontaneity and imagination and freedom that an adult doesn't quite have.
From the beginning, they concentrated on releasing their students' creativity, not on training professional child stars.
It was just like an after-school thing for myself and my sister, and it was great. It was so great for me because I was a really, really shy kid. And a lot of it is what they still do, which is theater games, which is, you know, you do mirror transformation where you would be with another person and you'd mirror them exactly, and no one was allowed to be the leader.
A lot of times we're doing really foolish things in the work, like things that are just like making sounds that are like, what is the point of this?
Let it become more efficient. Yes.
And so you have to address that with students and say, why are we doing this?
What is that? Why is that theater? What's the point of that?
Agreement.
Agreement?
Listening to each other.
Listening to each other.
Eventually, their students became so adept at the games that the Pivens created a performing troupe. The Young People's Company took its inspiration from Paul Sills' Story Theater. Joyce was in the original Story Theater cast in 1968. The Young People's Company has now been running for 25 years.
We're not after the kids becoming, all of them becoming, or even maybe only the tiniest portion of them for whom it is a calling to enter the weird and foreboding and forbidding world of theater, where you have a 90 or 80 to 90% unemployment at any given time of union members yet.
My parents didn't want me to become an actor by any means.
Why wouldn't they want you to be an actor?
Just because, you know, it's, I mean, look at my father. He's a brilliant, brilliant actor who's got to walk into rooms and audition for 23-year-old casting directors. It's a brutal, ridiculous business that if you're looking for justice, you're in the wrong arena.
It takes a lot of hard work to be a theater artist and to make it look easy and to make it seem spontaneous and improvisational. There's nothing easy about it.
Your parents are like almost like yin and yang. They're like very different characters, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. My mother will really absolutely celebrate you to get you to the point where you are available to hear what the direction is. And my father will most likely just give it to you straight.
On her! Sorry. On her, listen. All your energy is in the hand, on the wrist. Feel that. Just feel that, yeah. That physical contact is real.
The hard work has paid off for the Pivens. Today, the workshop has 28 teachers on staff working with children and adults. All were trained by Joyce and Byrne, and many started out as Piven students themselves when they were children.
I'm just one person of a whole generation of people who have had a sustained relationship with Joyce and Byrne. You know, going from like being a child to being in the Young People's Company to training as an adult to becoming a teacher. The thing that they have impacted is actually, it's huge. You know, it's really quite remarkable.